So I wish I had some good theme music for my midnight Zohar. It's late or early, depending on how you look at it. Let's come over here and see the Zohar. Now, it's interesting, this Parshas Pinchas is like a river, or we're on a boat in a river, and the river keeps changing either course or colors or something, and now we're talking somewhere else. We began talking about, previously, we're talking about Pinchas himself and the origin of the Yud that appears in his names, the gematrias of those things. We went through lots of different stuff and very interesting about Pinchas, but now we're not talking about Pinchas anymore. But who's speaking is the Rai Mehemna, which is Moshe Rabeinu. Is able to appear in a physical world, and says the following. Amal the Rai Mehemna says like this, Shushan Eidos. Now this is a phrase that comes out of Tehillim. That phrase, Shushan Eidos, is some kind of testimony which comes from Shushan. The Sa'adusa, the Shechinah, the Ihu Shushan. Who's Shushan? The Shushan refers to the Shechinah, and she gives testimony. The Ihu Sa'adusa, the Kaimach, that she is actually our witness. She stands by us, the Sahadin Alam Kamei Malka, and she's able to give testimony for us before the king. V'dargim Elohim Kadisha B'chador, and she has all kinds of very high levels are flowing into her. V'siyata Kadisha the Sushbachta. So all of this is done. This is my translation. We're going to get the matok for the Vash. V'siyata Kadisha the Hishbachta. So she has the help of heaven for praise. Amar Rai Mehemna. So Moshe Rabeinu says like this. Oy, Moshe Rabeinu. So the Rai Mehemna says, Shushan Edus De'inin Sa'adim Al Yisrael. These refers to the testimony on behalf of the Jewish people. De'inum Evorim, because the Jewish people at times are like limbs of the Shechinah. Ve'ichin Nishma Sa'alaychu, and she is the Neshama on them. Ihu Siyata the Shemaya the Itmar Baz, that she's really the help between us and maybe in heaven, let's see, that said in regards to her this quote, V'ata tismach hashemayim, so now you listen, heaven, ihi siyata de gedishta, so she's the one that makes the bridge between us and answers that we seek. The Itmar Allah that says in regards to her, Tanya, the Tanya we learn, the Siyah law, the Messiah law, to help you like that. Okay. Let's read the Matok Midimash. It says, V'atam bach Rai Mehemna, he's out coming, he's in the shear, and he's switching his shear, the voyeurs sewed pasuk zeh, to explain the secret of this pasuk. Amar Rai Mehemna, so the Rai Mehemna says, Masha Kosav Shushan Edus, that phrase. So the Kosav Das Sa'adusa the Shechinah, the secret of this is really the testimony of the Shechinah, the Ihu Shushan, which is the Shechinah, is another name of the Shechinah is Shushan. Zuhu Edus Shel Shechinah Hanikra Shushan. In a minute he's going to explain to us the meaning of this Shushan. Normally I think a Shushan is about this place in Persia where we hung out for a while. And anyway, it's about Purim, that's what I thought. Masha Kosav Edus the Ihu Sa'adusa the Kaimach Alam the Sahada Malacha Kamei Malka. Let's translate. Shiha Edus, this is the testimony Shalamed that's standing on us. In other words, standing for us. And gives testimony before the king, that is the judge, the balance scale, if you listen to our other shiurim before that. Shachashchina Hakadosh no tell us ma'asechem atayvim, because what the Shekhinah does like this, it's like a mother. The Shekhinah always looks at the good part of her child. So she finds all of our good things, Shal Yisrael, and she brings them up into the secret of Mayin Nukvin. And she shows them to Zah. Vaz he nikras Shushan Eidos, and then that's when he's called Zer Anpin is called Shushan Eidos. Now let me see the last part. It says, so she takes all the good pleas and she shows them towards Zer Anpin. Now Zer Anpin this is the male counterpart. So So he says like this, and we have to understand this. Everything comes from the bottom. So your needs come to the Shekhinah. She watches you, and she looks just like a mother. She's panimi to you. And as a result of that, she can bring the good qualities that you have to Yichud with Zeranpin. Now this brings things up higher and higher and higher until it ultimately produces a flow of bracha. So this is what she can do. B'asi nikra Shushan Edus. That's when she's called by that name. V'darge Eloim Kedishim B'Hadir Shushana. Madregus Elyonim Kedusha Shel HaMalachim. The very high levels. So this is like levels of transportation. Nechlalos Im HaShoshana. They get incorporated along with this Hoshana. Now here we're talking about who's the Shoshana. The Shoshana is the Shekhinah. Now he says like this, V'shushan v'shoshana. So you have these two words. The Shoshana is a rose. The chlalos ima Shoshana, they get incorporated. So what's the difference between, he says, no, it doesn't have to do the place in Persia. It has to take a place with the Shushan v'shoshana. What's a Shoshana? Is a rose. Heim ka'ayin tzaddik v'tzedakah, tzedek v'tzedakah. So it basically the same idea. Both of these ideas refer to Malchus. It could be either called Shushan. I guess maybe it's more male aspect of Malchus. I'm not sure. And then maybe the Shoshana actually means the flower itself. So let's skip that little part right there and let's go on. Because they also give testimony on the merits of the Jews. The Inim Evarim, because the Jews become like limbs. The Neshamas Yisrael, the Neshamas of the Jews, Kashehem Machshirim Umasehem, when they get their deeds in order. In other words, we purify ourselves and try to do tshuva. Hem Evarim V'guf the Shekhinah, they become limbs, they become body of the Shekhinah herself. Ki Hem B'so Nishmas Levush El Shekhinah, because we are like our neshamas actually become a lavush when we turn back to Hashem for the Shekhinah. V'hi nishmas alaychus, so she's panimi to us. That's how we can be. V'hi nishama alaychem ratzon l'lomer he mislaveshes bechem, she now clothes in the Jews. K'neshama b'socha guf, like a neshama inside of a body, it's light print. V'hisiyon lo b'tzad teferes and nikra shemaim, and so she's siyua, not siyun, siyua, she's a help for us as an intermediary. In other words, the mother takes us to the father. And there we get into the concept of now really moving up to the Most High. So he's l'chon b'tzad teferes and nikra shemaim, ratzon l'lomer he ozeres lono begalus, she helps us in galus. And then Amar Boaz has said in regards to Pirish Hashkina Hanikras Ata, the Shekhinah is called you, the personal you. Shomas Tevilasenu, you are our mother, you are your mother. Now in Spanish you have two different kinds of yous. You have a yud which is usted, which is the formal way of saying you, and you have a you which is tu. Tu is informal. It means that people that your family and people that you're close to. Some countries just use the word tu, or osted. But either way. But the point is that this is a very personal concept involved in the word atah, which means you. Ata shemeas tevilasena b'tzad teferes. You're able to make heard our prayers to teferes, which is the pipeline to the world beyond. So he says, he siyua kedushalon, she is a holy help to us. The memenu talu is siyua, and from her all the help depends. Because it says in her Tanya, so it says Tanya, the Messiah law. Tanya shehi hashkina k'bevur l'cholon. So he's going to get into this now more. He's going to say that this thing about the Shekhinah that he said, he Messiah Yisrael l'kol misha oisik v'Torah. This is really helping every single Jew. And he's really saying what come close to Hashem, the David Hashem, like Rabbi Mimran, to have your prayers answered as would be in Rebbe Nachman. So he said, "L'kol misha oiseh b'Torah," because this is again, you see, L'kuti Maran, is that when you're learning Torah, the Shekhinah comes in. This is Baruch Fleischman anyway. That's the Midnight Torah here, and let's say today is the 5th day of Nisan, 5783.